So am I supposed to look at Darren on the camera?
We're ready.
Have you ever experienced racism?
Yes, I have. My 7th grade year.
How old?
Let's cut. Tell it like a story. I first remember experiencing racism in the 7th grade. Do you know what I mean? That way, when we show it on film, we don't have to play his question. You know, it's like you're telling the story.
So you want me to say the question and then answer it?
You could. That's another way too.
So this is the question I had. Look, it said, have you ever experienced racism?
No, I'm gonna stop the camera.
How old were you when you first experienced racism?
Yeah.
How did it make you feel?
Maybe.
Describe one of those experiences.
Yeah. Let's start with the how old were you when you first experienced. Okay.
All right. Is it rolling?
Yeah. Try.
How old was you when you first experienced racism?
I was about 13 years old when I first experienced racism. I was in the 7th grade going to Summit K-12, which is like a predominantly white school, but it was kind of mixed between a few more other races, such as African American and Asian Americans.
How did it make you feel?
It made me mad because it was like the first time I ever experienced direct racism. Like, he called me the N-word, and like I ended up beating him up over it. So I was feeling rage and anger at the same time.
Keep going.
Is there a time in the store where you, or you purchased something when you experienced racism?
Yeah, every time I go to the Bon Marché, it seems like they got one of their little top flight security of the world following me around or something, or looking over me. And it'd be funny though, because they think I'm gonna be seeing them, and it just makes me laugh. I used to act ignorant with them and throw stuff on the floor when they would be following me or watching me. But now I just look at them and laugh, and I kind of point them out, and I'll ask them. Sometimes I'll even ask them, why are they following me, or are they following me, or are they store security? And they'll lie, but you can tell when they're store security.
Why don't you guys switch? And
For what?
he's gonna answer the same question.
You ask them. I'm done. This is my project. Sorry, okay, Paul.
You're going to print again. Yeah,
Ooh, I look cute. Ooh, my God. No wonder you're having girls. Yeedeek.
we're still rolling. Do you know?
Have you ever experienced racism?
I experienced racism several times. I.
Cut.
Oh, man, I look cute though.
Okay.
Have you ever experienced?
He was hammered.
I'm gonna change camera angles.
He look hammered. He look hammered in the video, huh?
Hammer, like MC Hammer.
I think I have an ingrown hair.
Hair.
Yeah, I never had that.
Yeah, you probably have some bump.
Yeah.
All right. I'm still
And it
rolling,
hurts.
so if you could.
Sorry.
Have you ever experienced racism?
I experienced racism several times when I was younger in elementary. I had a Japanese teacher that just didn't like me, and she just didn't want me to do nothing. She always set me outside of class. I experienced racism when I was driving. I got pulled over because what he said, because my front license plate was in the front of the class. I mean, ooh, I'm drunk. Cut that. Cut.
It's still rolling. We'll tell you that later.
I also experienced racism when I was driving. My front license plate wasn't on the front of the car, so he pulled me over like twice because of that. I pulled outside AMPM, and I got pulled right when I pulled out. And he didn't tell me why he pulled me over or nothing. He just pulled me over actually for my license and registration and insurance. Then he let me go. Every time I got pulled over, it seemed like they let me go, but they only got a ticket like one time, and it's because I didn't have my license. So.
How did this make you feel?
I was upset. I was really mad. I was like, man, I don't understand. Like, why were they focusing on me when they should be focusing on drugs and guns and terrorists and stuff like that?
describe one of those experiences. I just did. That's why I didn't ask you.
Kind of.
I just did.
You didn't want to describe the basketball game in the refs, or is that what we were?
Oh, at my girlfriend's basketball game, they was playing at Lake Washington. It's a white town basically, and it seemed like it was getting no calls, no foul calls, no type of calls. Period. And I guess they was calling travel on them when they were laying it up, calling off the ball fouls. Usually they don't even count usually. So I feel like when black teams are playing against basically white teams, it's like the refs against the team. So it's hard for somebody to win when you're playing against the refs.
Good.
That was good. Not better than mine, but it was good.
Did I look into the camera?
Look at that.
Okay.
It's rolling.
Have you ever experienced racism?
Yes.
How old was you when you first experienced racism?
6 years old, but I didn't realize it was racism at the time until I was older.
Can you describe one of those experiences?
Yes, I was riding the school bus, and a little kid told me to move out of the seat, and they called me the N-word.
And how did that make you feel?
I didn't understand it, so I don't know really how I felt. I just knew it was bad, but I was too young, I think, to associate it with racism until I talked to my mom about it.
Let's ask her about other experiences.
Okay, yeah. Have there ever been any other experiences besides that?
Yes, when I was in college. I was in a statistics class, and the professor was upset with all of the students because we all got really, really low scores. And I believe the highest score was a 76. And the professor told us if we had any questions after class, if we wanted to talk to him about, how we can improve our grade or our study habits, to come talk to him after class. It's a long line of students. I was in line, and I walked up to the professor, and before I could even say anything, he said, well, maybe the class is just too hard for you. And I turned my test paper over, and I had the 76. So, yes, that was really hard on me, too, because I think I was only 19, and, it was upsetting. It made me lose some confidence a little bit as far as it went for academics.
Okay, thank you.
That it?
You had the highest score.
I'll look at Darren.
And make sure my mic's nice. Okay. And Darren, I think we're good to go.
Okay. How old was you when you first experienced racism?
I was a second grader, so I think I would have been 7 years old.
Can you describe one of those experiences?
I remember it very vividly. The elementary school in my neighborhood was being remodeled, and so all the kids in our neighborhood were being bused to a white neighborhood in South St. Louis. And when I arrived at school with my brother and we got off the bus, we ended up on the playground, and some of the kids gathered around us and started throwing rocks at us and spitting at us. That was my very first experience.
How did that make you feel?
I was really angry. We were very angry. We actually got into a fight and got suspended on our first day at school. So yes, I was angry.
Experiences that you, see racism on you or somebody else?
It was just still at the same school. After we got off of suspension for fighting, we were allowed to go back to the school, and my very first day in the classroom, my second grade teacher came to me in the back of the class. She made us sit in the last row in the back of the class, and she said, I don't like having you people here in my classroom. You better not get in any more trouble. And again, as a kid who was 7, hearing that from an adult for the first time, that kind of treatment was just very vivid of how mean and thoughtless people could be. So that's always stuck out in my mind.
Okay, thank you so much. That's man, I never experienced that.
I'm a little bit older than you, and I grew up in the South, so things were a little different in my time.
Okay, thank you.